been talking about Tawhid and the difference between Tawhid al-Uluhiyyah and Tawhid al-Rububiyyah. We come to Tawhid al-Asma' wa Sifat. The first ruling here, I'll select this one now. أبواب معرفة الله. Let's say this is number one, okay? These are rulings regarding Allah's names and attributes. أبواب معرفة الله بأسمائه وصفاته مسدودة على الخلق إلا من خلال ما وصف الله به نفسه ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهذا متفق عليه بين جميع المسلمين. The gates about knowing Allah by His names and attributes are locked on all people except through what Allah described Himself and what His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam described Him. And this is agreed upon between all Muslims without any exception. The door about knowing Allah by His names and attributes, the doors are locked except one door, and that door is the source of Allah, Book and Sunnah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us this important ayah. Can you read Arabic? Yeah. ليس كمثله شيء. What does it mean in English?
There's nothing like unto him.
There's nothing like?
Like unto him,
like unto him, yes. There's nothing like unto him. Okay. But we should not stop here because the ayah is not finished yet. Okay? Can you continue the ayah? Do you remember? The people of innovation, they use from this ayah this side only, not the other side. Why? Because that suits them, while this one doesn't. Because this side here, it contains what? As-Sami' al-Basir, which is similar to us. I am Sami' Basir. So they're having a problem with this. They use the first part to deny other sifat of Allah. But you can trouble them with this. For example, they want to use this to say to you that we can't believe that Allah stawa over His throne. Okay? Why? Because there's nothing like unto Him. We say to them, but Allah here in the same ayah that you're using, He proved to himself that He is all hearing, all seeing, just like me. I have sight and I have hearing. So it is true that there is nothing like unto Allah, but you can prove to the attributes of Allah at the same time, using this one and using this one both. I don't know if you understood me.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, do you know this ayah? إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. Allah's talking about mankind, okay? We have guided him the way. Either he is thankful or he is what? Ungrateful. Either he is grateful, yani We gave him the way to choose. Either to be grateful to be, or to be what?
Disbelief.
Ungrateful. No, before that. Sorry. إنا خلقنا الإنسان. Sorry. Anyway, it's okay. إنا خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. So Allah is Sami' Basir, and He described His creatures, mankind, that He is Sami' Basir. So the similarity here doesn't mean similarity from all angles. Okay? Facts are different. Here there is banana, in Jannah there is banana, and the banana of Jannah must be different than the banana of this life here. So there's difference between creature and creature, yet the names are the same. So the difference must be ever greater than that between the creator and the creature, even if the names are similar. Okay? So here's Allah is Sami' Basir and mankind is Sami' Basir. If you want to use this apart, then you have to deny that Allah is Sami' Basir, because you should be afraid that He may become similar to us. So, what is the importance of this ayah? Look, I need to have a chair. I'm going to reverse this.
This one's dirty.
It's okay, it's paint. I hope, inshallah. Okay? Let's say I want to play with the ayah. Astaghfirullah. I want to reverse the ayah like this. هو السميع البصير وليس كمثله شيء. That would be big trouble. Why? Because Allah is preparing you to put a shield between you and the devil. The devil sometimes he purifies the evil by good concepts. The good concept here, Allah should not be similar to His creatures. That's fine. But by that, He's using this to let you deny Allah's names and attributes. This is a trap. What does the ayah do here? The ayah prepare you. The ayah is preventing you from falling in the trap of the devil. This is the preparation. Look. So Allah began with, there is nothing like unto Him, and He is as-Sami' al-Basir. If He did it the other way, it will not be preventing you from the devil. That's why the Quran is mutqan, accurate. Technically accurate. He began with لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ, nothing like unto Him. And now, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevented you from the whisperings of the devil, now you are ready to prove to Allah what He proved to Himself among names and attributes. You have no problem. Why? Because you have prepared your mind with this. There's nothing that is similar to Him. Clear, inshallah? So by this, you can use this as a measure for all other names and attributes of Allah. Using this base as a measure for you. Clear, inshallah? Barakallahu feekum. Let's get back here. So let's put this number 1. We want this to be number 1. It's very important. I like it. I like this this قاعدة, rule. So we made it number 1. Then this is number 2. What is it? We begin with denying the similarity as preparation to prove Allah's names and attributes. And this is the divine ruling. Look, Allah began with denying the similarity between Him and His creatures. Then after that, the second step is to prove the names and attributes for Him. This is also very important. Let's put it number 3. الله أراد من هذه الصفات الثناء على نفسه. Allah intended with these attributes praising Himself. As the hadith, وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْكَ, and I seek refuge with you from you, لا أحصي ثناء عليك, I cannot count the praises unto you. I cannot, they are countless, uncountable, uncountable, uncountable. You are just like what you praise yourself. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes Himself, these descriptions are descriptions of what? Praising. When those people say no, they say no, that doesn't, we should not describe Allah, that for example, that Allah comes and the angels come behind Him, after Him, or that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is over the throne, that means He is in a place. We should not be believing these things. As if they're saying to us that Allah described Himself with dispraising attributes. That's not true. When Allah describes Himself to us in something, that means He's praising Himself to us. He's praising Himself when He describes Himself to us. Okay? This is very important. Number 4. I want to make it number 4. لو كان الله يعلم أن هذه الصفات لا تليق به لما وصف بها نفسه. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that these attributes do not suit Him, or they're not perfect, or they are not fit to His majesty, He would have not been describing Himself by these names and attributes. Okay? طيب. Those people, they say that we're going to make ta'wil for those ayat of sifat. Have you heard the word ta'wil? Sometimes they say to you, why did you make ta'wil on this, but you did not make ta'wil on that? Did you hear that before? Now that causes us to give you, to detail to you the meaning of the word ta'wil. There are 2 meanings of the word ta'wil. No third, only 2. First, at-tafsir. Second, تحقق الأمر المخبر عنه. The word ta'wil has two meanings, no third, only two. First is tafsir. Second, the consequence of the fulfillment, or the fulfillment is, the fulfillment of what had been told about. Ta'wil means tafsir. So if ta'wil means tafsir, that means there is no ayah, but we should be giving it ta'wil. There's no ayah that we're not allowed to give tafsir for it. Ta'wil means tafsir. And I challenge anyone to bring a third meaning of that word ta'wil. Ta'wil means tafsir, explaining. Second, the fulfillment of something that you were told about, such as, for example, okay, Allah said, هل ينظرون إلا تأويله. Are they gonna wait for nothing but the fulfillment of what Allah pre-told them about? So the fulfillment of what had been told about. This is the meaning of ta'wil, and there is no third meaning. But those people have false understanding of the word ta'wil. Ta'wil, in their perspective, is to give the attribute of Allah a meaning that apparently it has nothing to do with it. But we have to add this. By this they are twisting the attributes of Allah. Such as, for example, Allah said to the devil, why didn't you bow down for the one whom I created by my two hands? They say to you, two hands means two powers. If Allah wanted us to use the meaning power, He will not be mentioning dual hands, because you cannot say that Allah has dual powers. This is a jet airplane, yes, two engines. But Allah to has two powers, He has one perfect, comprehensive power. You cannot divide. See, before they were talking about dividing Tawhid, but here it's okay to divide Allah's power, saying that Allah's power is divided into two. Power number one, power number two. Can you say that? But the ayah is mentioning two hands. So this is evident that Allah meant by this two hands. That's what will be bringing us to another subject someday, inshallah, in the future. Talking about metaphor. Can we use metaphor? Is it consistent in the Quran, in the language? Can we use it? My answer is no. In any language of the world. You may say, Sheikh, that's too much. That's a big challenging. We know that linguistically, that happens. And I keep insisting saying no. No. Majaz is, metaphorism, is the justification for anyone to cover the evil or the error or the mistake. That's why you can find it with Christians a lot. When you ever bring them any ayah, any verse from their Bible, they say, oh, that doesn't mean what you thought. And they say to you, don't take it literally. This is metaphor. This is metaphoric. Don't take it literally. So it is the tools of Christians and ancient philosophers just to falsify and twist the text. But as for us, we don't count on anything called metaphor. we count on something very important, and that is to look at the context. The context will be giving you the law, whether you understand it apparently or there is a deep meaning with it. I give an example, okay? We say, your name? Abbasun Asadun. Abbasu Asadun. Abbasu Asadun. What does this mean in English? Very good. When you saw this, did you remember the lion with the long hair? Why?
Because it's a metaphor.
It's not.
No metaphor.
No. You know why? Metaphor has no definitions and rulings as to when you're allowed to use metaphor and when you're not. There's no rule definition. There's no law for it. And it's left to the desire of people. If they don't, they're not happy with the text, yeah, give it metaphoric meaning. Yeah, let go. Like Christians, when I was debating with them about Jesus as being the Son of Allah. So I said to them, is he truly Son of God? He said, yes, truly, yes. All right. I said, all right. In the book of Isaiah, chapter 7, verse 3, God said to David, you are my son, this day I have begotten you. Okay? But Christians say that Jesus is the only begotten son. So how can Jesus be the only begotten son, while we find in the book of Isaiah, God is saying to David, you are my son, this day I have begotten you. So Jesus is not the only son. Now, after they hear this, they're not happy with it. They will be saying to you, David is metaphoric son of God. See now how they use, when they use the metaphoric, when it suits them, when they're in trouble, always. When they are in trouble, yalla. Where are you, Mr. Metaphoric? Mr. Metaphor, where are you? Help me, I'm in trouble. Okay? But when we attach the word, the meaning to the context, no one can play games. Such as this one. Abbas wa Asad. Abbas, Asad. Is it metaphoric? No. But it consists the word Asad. Asad means lion. Yes. It's talking about bravery. How come? That means that this is metaphoric. No. According to the context. I went to Africa and I was calling the lions in the jungle. Is there anyone among you called Abbas? And all lions said no. So that means you can't find a lion in the jungle. His name is Abbas. So the mind goes in less than a second to what? To someone whose name is Abbas. There is no need to take him to the Sorbonne or to the university here, Cambridge, to learn what is metaphor and what is etc. No, they don't need that. The mind will be making its analysis, very fast analysis in seconds. So the context itself is telling us that Abbas is the name of a person, and that is a description that he is so brave. So we did not need metaphor. The text itself proves that it is not metaphor. It is true. Did you get the point, brothers? Yeah. And that's how it goes, always. Always. Let's get back now. Before we have, in 2 minutes we have to stop now, because there's adhan. All right. That is very important here. أهل التأويل معترفون بأن تأويلاتهم يحتمل أن تكون مرادة لله. All the people of ta'wil. In matter of fact, we don't call these people of ta'wil. In a matter of fact, they are people of tahrif. They are the twisters of the ayat of the Quran. So we don't give them that good name, people of ta'wil, because ta'wil, it has a good meaning. And that is to explaining Allah's names and attributes, explaining them on the right way of the Salaf. The other thing is here that أهل التأويل معترفون, the people of ta'wil. Now they became people of ta'wil because of what? Twisting. Because any Ash'ari can come to you and say, okay, give me any ayah. If I'm not happy with it, I'm going to make ta'wil for it. So here it says that people of ta'wil, they have admitted that their ta'wils maybe are meant by Allah. Yani Allah meant that meaning. Maybe. So they're not sure. They are in doubt. If the ta'wil they have is the Sunni ta'wil, wait a minute. Here there's a very important thing. That the ta'wil by the Sahaba and Tabi'een does not allow any kind of tahrif. The ta'wil. There's an important matter here. We should not be using the word ta'wil with the recent understanding of it. But we have to use the word ta'wil with its meaning that the Salaf understood. So what is the word ta'wil? What does the word ta'wil means to the Salaf? Tafsir. And the Salaf used never to make ta'wil with possibility. But here they say to you, they admitted that we give ta'wil but with the possibility that it may be meant to Allah and it may not. So we say to them, so how do you force me to accept your ta'wil, which is by your confession, which is possible to be meant by Allah? It may not. How do you force me? And we should not be talking about Allah's attributes with possibilities. It's haram. Did you get the point? It's haram. While the Salaf used to be making ta'wil, but with knowledge, not with possibilities. So when they say to you that our ta'wil may be acceptable by Allah and may not, it may be a doubt. So you should not be speaking with doubt. You should be speaking with knowledge. So now I want you to understand the correct meaning of the word ta'wil, which means tafsir, or the tahaqquq, the fulfillment of what had been something that Allah was talking about. Like for example, Yusuf, he saw a dream. Remember the story? Then at the end of the surah, he said to his father, "Oh my father, this is the fulfillment. This is the fulfillment of my dream that I saw before. يا أبتي هذا تأويل رؤياي من قبل. This is the fulfillment of my revelation, the dream. قد جعلها ربي حقا. Allah made it true. So this is the fulfillment, ta'wil, of the dream I saw before. That means what he saw had been what? Applied or fulfilled. So these are the two meanings of the word ta'wil. We continue inshallah after salah. بارك الله فيكم. حياكم الله. So, first thing, all doors about knowing Allah, His names, His attributes are blocked except only one door. And that is what Allah described Himself, what His Prophet described Him. Second, we begin with negation. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. And then affirmation. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Just like in our shahada, we begin with the negation. لا إله إلا الله. There is no God except Allah. So we began with the negation, denying there is anyone other to be God except Allah. We begin with this. Then we affirm إلا الله, except Allah. Some naive people in your society, I have experienced them, they keep remembering Allah like this, illallah, illallah, illallah. And I was saying to them, why you say that? They said, we're afraid we may die before saying illallah. When we say la ilaha, we might be dying while we are saying la ilaha. We don't want to die while we're saying la ilaha. So we should be, that's why we started with illallah. What if you died while saying illa? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so first negation, then affirmation. 3. Allah intended with these names and attributes praising Himself. But those people have problem with what Allah praised Himself. They say to you, for example, oh come on, Allah has 2 hands. I can't believe it. Allah has fingers. Do you believe that Allah has fingers?
No, Surah Zumar.
What? There's nothing about the fingers in the Surah Zumar. No.
There is hand.
Qabda.
Qabda.
But it does not mention the fingers.
Does it mention somewhere else?
Not in the Quran though. In the Sunnah. Okay, the hearts are between 2 of Allah's fingers. 2 fingers among Allah's fingers. The hearts of people. Altering the hearts of His servants as He will. Okay? Some people want to distort your madhab by saying, how fingers your God has? 4 or 5 or 10? How many? We say to them, we don't know how many. Allah told us that He has many, but how many He did not tell us. When He tells me, I'll tell you. Okay? Yes. Yeah, so when someone say hands mean power, we say to him, you're twisting the Quran. And by the way, twisting the meanings of the Quran is the famous way of the Jews. So when Allah accused the Jews in the Quran that they were twisting the Torah, in fact, they were twisting its meanings. That's why Ibn Hajar and Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said, the Jews have a lot of ta'wil like this, false ta'wil. This is their way before. So Allah meant by this power. But wait a minute. The devil should be refuting Allah by saying, oh Allah, so where is the significance of Adam? You created him by your power, and also you created me by power. So why should be better than me? You created him by your power, and you created me by your power as well. So what's the difference? But Allah wanted to show specific difference, okay, to Adam by created him directly by his hands. So if hands mean, if Allah meant by the hands power, the devil will be replying Allah, saying to him, and you also created me by your two hands, which are your power. So what is the difference between me and him? Number 4, right? Number 4. If Allah knows that these names and attributes are not fit for His perfect omnipotence, He would have not been describing Himself with these descriptions. So that's why we say to those people, أَأَنْتُمْ أَعْلَمُ أَمِ اللَّهِ? Do you know better or Allah? Number 5. The people of Ta'wil, they have admitted that Ta'wil, which means false interpretation, yeah.
There's 2 types.
Yes.
The
Mention to me, yes, please.
tafsir and
No, I'm not asking about the meaning of Ta'wil. No. Anyway, Ta'wil means either tafsir or the fulfillment of the matter. Like what Yusuf said to his father, "Oh my father, this is the ta'wil of the dream I have seen before. It had come true." So ta'wil means consequence, the things to come as it was told about before. Okay? Those are the only 2 meanings. No, I meant here to say that if Allah knows that those attributes are not fit for His Majesty, He would have not been describing Himself with these attributes. This is number 4, right? 4. 5. The people of Ta'wil had admitted, all of them, that their Ta'wil are possible, not definite. And when they say it's possible, that means it's doubtful. And there's a beautiful qaida here. I want to even to write it in Arabic if you can. ما تطرق إليه الاحتمال سقط به الاستدلال. ما تطرق إليه الاحتمال سقط به الاستدلال. When any matter became a matter of doubt, then it should not be used as evidence anymore. So when you say that our ta'wil is possible, not definite, then we have to say to you,
it's not evidence.
It's not evident, number 1. Number 2, why do you force us to accept it? Otherwise we are mushabbiha mujassima. You can't force us regarding something you're admitted to be possible. You're not sure about. Why do you have to blame me and accuse me falsely because I did not accept yours? And if you say that these sifat are doubtful and I give it possible meanings, that means you are basing your doctrine on possibilities which are doubtful. Then we have to ask you then, why you have denied what? Ahadithul ahad. Why you denied ahadithul ahad? He says because the narrator is one. He may have a bad memory. Okay? He may be a weak person. He may be so. It is ahad, that means it's doubtful. If you accepted the doubtful ta'wil, Why don't you accept the doubtful? Huh?
The doubtful Tawhid.
The doubtful hadith.
Yeah.
Ahad. If you rejected the hadith ahad, saying that it is possibly authentic, not definitely authentic, we say to you, all right, you want to deny this? Fine. But why did you accept another possibility and doubtful matter, and that is the ta'wil you give for the sifat of Allah? But you can see now a contradiction. Now, Number
6.
Number 6. The people of ta'wil, they are disagreeing in many of their ta'wil. So your point of view differs than my point of view. And that is another reason to disregard those people at all, absolutely. Because they are contradictory. Let me give the other thing, that the ta'wil that those people give is not really practically used among people. I'll give you an example. Don't forget this rule, please. Okay? When, subhanallah, when any matter is mingled with possibility, it becomes no more evident. No more evident. Khalas. Okay? Now we erase this. Can you read this ayah for me, please? What is the meaning of that?
The faces that they would be shining at looking at their Lord.
Looking at their Lord. Those people, not the Ash'aris, but Mu'tazila. But we know that the Ash'aris are derived from Mu'tazila. Look, here the Mu'tazila say, إِلَى رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةً أي تنتظر ثواب ربها. The faces are looking to Allah. Those people said it means are expecting, waiting for Allah's reward. Why they did this? They wanted to deny that Allah can see. Sorry. Can be seen. Can be seen. Okay? All right. Okay. Tell me, please, do you use this word, this language? Okay? I was looking at the train, but the train did not come. So I went to look at another train. Then the train did not come. Then I decided to go back home. Then I was looking for the taxi to come, but the taxi was late. Can you use that language? Looking at?
Looking for.
Looking for, not looking at. But the ayah is saying they look at their Lord. But do we usually, in our daily life, do we use this language? For example, I was looking at the train, but the train did not come. Do you use it that way? So they make naive, foolish kind of ta'wil, which is usually cannot be practiced among them. Okay? Number 7, as I think I mentioned it, that the people of ta'wil are disputing about their ta'wils. For example, أَأَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ, I think you know the meaning of the ayah. Yes? Are you secure regarding the one who is in as-sama? What do they say? They say آمنت ما في السماء يعني the angels. But the ayah said أن يخسف singular. He did not say أن يخسفوا plural. When you say that to him, he's in trouble. He can't give any answer. Okay? Some others, they say, Allah meant to say, are you secured from the one whom you think that he is in as-sama? Other people, man fi as-sama means the one who is in heaven is his power. So they make different contradictory kinds of interpretations for the ayah. So if you are people of mind, why didn't you agree on something? Why do you dispute? Before you force me to accept your ta'wil, make agreement between those who oppose you in your ta'wil. Solve the problem with them, then come to me. Okay. Those who criticize us for proving these attributes, in a matter of fact, they are criticizing Allah for proving these attributes on Himself. They're not really refuting me. They are refuting Allah. They're not happy with what Allah describes Himself with. Finally, Ta'wil has no specific law to define for us when we can use metaphor and when we are not allowed to use metaphor. So I want you, brothers, to answer my question, okay? When we are allowed to use metaphor?
When we know what the object looks like. So for example, if we say...
But you don't know how Allah look like.
You can't use it with Allah.
There's no rulings with metaphors.
That's good. So you cannot use it regarding Allah, right?
Yeah.
Can you use it regarding us?
If you're just comparing us to like something in the dunya,
Mm.
we know what it's like.
Mm.
We can
Like what?
like saying that man's a lion.
The man is lion.
Obviously we know there's...
The man in lion does not require any kind of that type of ta'wil.
Yeah.
It comes because you're saying man. But if we say, for example, Abdullah is a lion, okay, then immediately the mind will be going to someone who's brave.
Yeah.
Because of the package, it's a context. The context that has the law itself, it's the judge, and it will be obliging you, okay, to admit to that law of the context. But you cannot force me to accept your metaphor. Otherwise, I have to say, for example, sorry, you are donkey. What? Me, donkey? No, I meant that you are a heavy worker. That's why you are donkey. Or, did you go to work? Okay. They say about Allah that He come, that means His command comes. Remember that? هل ينظرون إلى أن يأتيهم الله? Are they waiting until that time comes when Allah will be coming? Okay? So what do they say? His command will come. So for example, if I say to you, did you go to work today? And you say to me, yes, I was in work yesterday. Then you put in mind my decree, my will was in my work. I wasn't physically, but in my command, I wasn't. You can't say that. You can't play these games. Not only in Arabic, in any language. So metaphor was the solution for those who are not happy with what Allah described Himself. They're not happy with it. They have problems with it. That is why there's a Ash'ari scholar who used this poetry at the end. وَكُلُّ خَيْرٍ فِي اتِّبَاعِ مَنْ سَلَفْ وكل شر في ابتداع من خلف. The good, all good is in following the Salaf. And the evil, all evil, is by following the innovations of those who came after. Khalaf. Khalaf is the opposite word of Salaf. Okay? So those who criticize us for affirming an attribute of Allah, in a matter of fact, they're not criticizing us, they are criticizing Allah, who described himself with this. They're not, that's why we say to them, look, hadn't Allah described himself with this, we would have never been describing him. This kind of ta'wil, that is twisting Allah's names and attributes, will be fruiting in your heart hardship, or it will be causing your heart to be like rock, solid. Okay? And there is nothing better than approving to Allah what He approved to Himself. Because if Allah will be saying to me, for example, at the Day of Judgment, why did you believe that I am in as-sama'? You know the meaning of that?
Sky, in heaven.
In the heaven, not sky. There's a difference between sky and heaven. In the height. We don't even use the word heaven. In the height. Yes. Why did I ask this question?
Because.
Yeah. Is Allah in as-sama? The answer is yes. Why you are mujassim, mushabbih? Wait a minute. It's Allah who described that to Himself, not me. So if Allah will be saying to me at the Day of Judgment, let's suppose, Ya Dimashqiyya, why did you believe that I am in the heaven? I'll be saying to Him, oh Allah, I only described you by what you describe yourself and what your Prophet described you. That's what happened. Allah will never be saying to me, why did you believe that I'm in as-sama? Because He said about Himself that He is in as-sama. So how will Allah be blaming me for something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Him with? Did you get the point? Number
8.
Number 8. Okay. Making this false ta'wil is a false ijtihad. False ijtihad. But usually they say in matters of Aqidah there is no ijtihad because it's a texture issue. It has nothing to do with ijtihad. But now they are making ijtihad by giving false meaning to the attributes of Allah mentioned in the book and the Sunnah. So they reverse the issue. That's all. I just wanted to explain to you that these rules are very important, especially the first one. Look, when you are saved and have the right understanding of Tawhid al-Rububiyyah and Tawhid al-Uluhiyyah, and then Tawhid, the names and attributes of Allah, most of you is guided. Because this is the problem of the people of bid'ah. They don't have the right concept of Tawheed, and they don't have the right concept of sticking oneself to the book and the authentic Sunnah and the understanding and the practice of the Salaf, as-Salih, as-Sahaba. By this you can be saved from all the fitna that people are troubled with. Insha'Allah ta'ala. Do you have any question? Should we continue or that's enough for today?
It's fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Shall we continue?
See?
Well, it's up to me. No, I would say today that's enough. I'll be giving you a book, inshallah, which is my book. And if you have time during this vacation. Okay? I want you to go ahead and read it for me. Okay? And at the end, on the 5th, I have to put many questions. So are you ready to take it? Will you please kindly tomorrow come and bring with you USB? Do you have USB? Or if you have it now here?
So I'll have to bring it.
Bring tomorrow with you, please. Tomorrow I'm going to give it to you, and I want you to keep reading as much as you can until the 5th of January comes. Then I'll be asking you questions regarding what you read from the book. The book is very good, alhamdulillah. It's very much authentic. Authentic. And it is comprehensive. Within 300-400 pages, you come through all details of Aqidah, inshallah. It took with me a big deal time to make it ready. But it had been published once or twice.
What's it called?
True Belief, you can write it down. True Belief, a precondition for salvation. True Belief, a precondition for salvation. I think you can find it available in the net.
Online.
It's PDF.
Yeah, I'll look for it online.
Yeah.
Sure.
But anyway, bring USB with you tomorrow, inshallah. Okay? That's enough. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah bless you. And we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Allah yahfadkum. Please check the book. And even from tonight, if you can start reading, that would be good. Allah yahfadkum. Thank you very much for your attendance. Sorry for breaking your fast.
It was the nicest coffee I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Alhamdulillah.
So if he breaks his fast, is he still getting more for it or no?
No.
But it's
No.
very hard to accept an invitation.
Well, yeah. That's it. Yeah, so I was saying that this philosophic Ilmul-Kalam rhetoric, it caused people to have misconception. And before Islam, in the society of Christendom and Judaism, they used to be having a lot of problems because of this philosophy. They got divided. And the Prophet indicated to that division. He said, the Jews divided into 71 cults or sects. Christians, they got divided into 72. And this ummah is going to be divided into 73, all of which are in hell except one. Now, saying all of which are in hell, it may sound tough. Wow, only one is saved and 72 are not. Well, maybe the hadith is not authentic, but the hadith is authentic. It had been well checked. Not only in one time or by one person. No. Since many generations. This hadith was a source of worry about, by many scholars. And the scholars checked it. And the last one among them is Sheikh Al-Albani, rahimahullah. And Sheikh Al-Albani said it is authentic. And he proved it. Alhamdulillah, in the Ahl Sunnah environment, no one can say this is authentic without proving it. Unlike the Shia. The Shia don't have really a clear base about hadith. 75% of the rulings of hadith have been stolen from a book called Muqaddimat Ibn Salah. There's a guy whose name is Shahid al-Thani. They give him a nickname, the second martyr. That's his name. He was the first one to write hadith, to write a book about the rulings of hadith. And most of this book is stolen from the book of a great Sunni Sheikh. His name is Ibn Salah. In his Muqaddimah, and his book is presentation for the knowledge, science of hadith. So he picked it from him anyway. So Ahl Sunnah, after they were checking this hadith, it had been proven that the hadith is authentic. But is it true that 72 would be in hell? Well, the Prophet is talking about people of this ummah. People of this ummah. And when we talk about this ummah, we're talking about those who do not belong to Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism. They belong to this ummah. They deserve to be punished. Oh, that's why it doesn't. Oh, there's electricity there. If they belong to this ummah, even if they'll be punished, that means the punishment is temporary. So the hadith doesn't state that the punishment is eternal, or just like Christians, or no. And this is what we hope. Yes. So why the Prophet mentioned that this is something similar in Christianity and Judaism, 72. In Islam, 73. Because the Ummah had fallen in the matter of importing those philosophic sources into Islam. And that's what caused similar situation to the situation of Jews and Christians. Disputing about Qadr, disputing about Tawhid, disputing about Sifat, the attributes of Allah. Those people of the Ummah, they have fallen into two grave mistakes. The first one is that they consider, after they're disputing about Tawheed, they have something called Dalil al-Tamanu'. Dalil al-Tamanu', the evidence of, I don't have to say it in English. Tamanu', that means prohibition of having two creators. What did they say? They said, let's say that there are two gods. One wants to activate the world and the other one wants to calm the world. Either both will be implemented, which is not true, because those two gods, if there were two gods, they'll be fighting, they'll be disagreeing. So either both of them will be activating the world, or both of them will be calming and making it activeless, or one of them's will be conquering the will of the other. So that we prove. Now, thus we can prove that there's only one God. If there's another one, there will be destruction in the land. So now we can prove that there's one creator, one. In the non-Arabic language, people use the word God in general. For Lord and God, it's the same thing. Okay? But in Arabic, no. It has important detail. Rabb, as we mentioned yesterday, he is the owner. Lord, he is the worshipped. So there is difference between both. So that's why we said yesterday, simply, automatically, naturally, absolutely, there must be a difference. They should be in different categories, since they are different, even linguistically. One means the owner, the other one means the one that is worshipped. So after this big, long, they call it proof, a great proof, Dalil al-Tamanu. But it ended with what? It ended with them to prove that there is only one creator. If Abu Jahl will be alive, he'll be clapping. That's good, I like it. You prove that there is one creator. That was not the problem between Abu Jahl and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The problem was, you think that we take one mediator to God? Only one? No other mediators? Lat, Uzza, Manat, الثالثة الأخرى. Only one? Oh, come, go. Cannot be. They didn't like it. Therefore, the true concept about God, which means the one to be worshipped, and to be worshipped, that means the one who should be called only. Those two hands should not be raised for someone other than Allah. Otherwise, this is shirk. Even if you believe that there's one creator. This is automatical belief, which you will not be rewarded for. To believe that there's one creator, there's no reward for that. Because it had been set in you. To give special guidance to you. That since you acknowledge that there is one creator, okay, this acknowledgement should automatically take you to the worshipping of one God only. And worship means, calling means worship. Okay? The Prophet said, الدعاء هو العبادة. Supplication is in itself worship. Supplication is worship. So some people may say to you, yeah, it is true, we're asking the Prophet, but we're not worshipping him. We say to them, you have the problem of understanding the language itself. The Quran and the Prophet ﷺ, they both clarified it clearly that supplication is worship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ إِنِّي نُهِيتُ أَنْ أَعْبُدَ الَّذِينَ تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Let me bring to you the ayah. I hope I find it. Yeah. نهيت أن أعبد. I was forbidden from calling those whom you worship. Look at that. That's the ayah. Yeah, there are two ayat. There are two. Here, say. Yes, that's it. Say, O Muhammad, indeed I have been forbidden to worship those you call upon besides Allah, once the clear proofs have come to me from your Lord. Look what he said. Say, I have been forbidden to worship those whom you call. I'm forbidden from worshipping those whom you call. Look, worship, call. So call is worship. Is it clear? Say, I was forbidden from I'm forbidden to worship those whom you call apart from Allah. So call is worship. You may be taking the ayah. It's in Surah Ghafir. Surah Ghafir, ayah number 66. And the Prophet said, Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Supplication is worship. So what? There's a great crime that those philosophic sources have caused in Islam. A damage. That it diverted people from this concept that supplication is worship to another concept that proving that there's one creator, that's the utmost Tawhid. In Islam, no. It's the basic one which will be fruiting nothing unless you accompany it with what? Tawhid al-Uluhiyah. I was in Hyde Park once and a guy came to me and said, MashaAllah, there's an atheist. We convinced him and now he believes that there's one God. I said, okay, one God. What did he understand from one God? That means there's a creator. The creator of all things is Allah. I said, he's still the brother of Abu Jahl. He's still the brother of Abu Jahl. Unless he said, yes, the only creator is the one whom I turn to in my worship. Now he is monotheist. He returned to the true monotheistic faith. Yes. Okay, so that is why I have to emphasize on this. that this philosophy had damaged the Muslims in this perspective. The other thing is, the other damage is the damage of Allah's names and attributes. Two damages. Wallahi. And that's why you see the Muslims are extremely divided. Because of that. So yesterday we have proven that there is a need to explain to the people that there are two types of Tawhid. One is Rububiyyah, acknowledging Allah is the creator of everything. And Christians are sharing with us in this. Yeah, but Christians are Trinitarians, you may say, right? It is true that they say they're Trinitarian. But they know that people won't accept it. That's why they deceived their layman people by saying, and these three are one. Because people will be coming to them saying, excuse me, does this Trinity means that there are three gods? Do we believe in three gods? Note here that the layman people will never be accepting it. Because in the depth of their heart, they know that, no, one creator, and that's all. So the deception was this. We say three, but they are one. Now, to solve it, he may come back home and say, well, okay, the three are one, all right. They give him an example, for example. They say to him, look, this phone, it contains outside skin, and internal, etc., and there's a battery. And these three are one. Oh yeah? Oh, okay, fine. And he thinks that it had been solved, but not. The truth that he's not convinced. Most of those people, their situation is, there's only a social tie with my religion. It's a religion of Sunday visit to the church. That's how it ends with them. This is the concept of religion to those people. Visiting the church on Sunday, and that's all. So they're not convinced. So all people believe that there's one creator. Imam Razi, who's Ash'ari, Ash-Shahristani, even As-Suyuti, they all said, we have not come across any cult, even in India, they all believe in one creator. They may add to him something, they say, those are mediators to him. But to say there's another one equal to the creator, Al-Razi said, I haven't experienced any cult in the world like that. At-Tabari himself, commenting on the ayah, which is فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا لِلَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Do not set equals to Allah, although you know it. At-Tabari said, the Arabs used to be acknowledging the oneness of Allah, yet they used to be setting up partners with Him in their worship. This tafsir is very important. And At-Tabari is well-known mufassir, commentator of the Quran, agreed by Salafis, by Ash'aris, by all people, that he is the greatest mufassir of the Quran. And he said that. He said the Arabs used to be acknowledging the oneness of Allah, but they used to be setting up partners with Him in their worship, seeking mediators to Him, such as angels, Uzair, Masih, His mother, etc., etc. So, since we have those Ash'aris who returned us to the Jahiliyyah concept about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is one creator, then we had to awaken people. And we have to mention to them the difference between this and that. Because they are striving to condemn us because of that. They're saying, why you have to mention these categories, different categories of Tawhid? Khalas, Rabb and Ilah are the same. No, they're not the same. That's why I said to you yesterday, if someone wants to become Muslim, no one will be daring to say to him, say, Ashhadu an la Rabba illallah. And this is our evidence. This is our evidence. But they may say to us, what about the angels asking the dead, who's your Lord? They did not ask him, who's your Ilah? They asked him, who's your Rabb? How do you answer this?
It's the least of what they should know.
Son, not only the least, reminding them about the covenant that Allah had taken with them. Am I your Lord? They said yes. But they were not able to say yes when they were questioned by the angels. This is punishment. They were not strengthened because they did not maintain the Tawhid. So that's why they could not give an answer to it. That's why the hadith came like this. So when the angels asked him, he said, I don't know. I heard people saying something and I was saying it like them. And that also has another benefit, that you may say La ilaha illallah while you contradict it with your actions. So you won't be able to say it. You'll be only saying, I used to say what people used to say. But after the questioning is done, and you see your place in hell, now you'll be saying, my Lord, don't let the final hour come. Now he can say, my Lord, but at the question point, at the question time, he was not able to say, my Lord. And when the Prophet said, that means he was about to say it. He's striving, but there's someone who's blocking him from saying it as a punishment. There's another evidence. The Prophet ﷺ used to be, when he became the greatest leader in the peninsula, he used to be passing by villages to attack. He surrounds the village at morning before Fajr, and he listens. If he hears adhan, he leave the village and go and check another village. If he does not hear adhan, that means those are not Muslims. Then the Prophet attacked it. So once he was surrounding a village and he was listening, then he heard the mu'adhin giving adhan. So the mu'adhin said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The Prophet replied and said, على الفطرة. That means accordingly to the natural disposition. Natural disposition. على الفطرة. What's the meaning of على الفطرة? That means that's what our natures acknowledge. Then the man said, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. Then the Prophet said, خرجت من النار. You're ousted from hell. He did not say to him, you're ousted from hell, when he said Allahu Akbar. Because saying Allahu Akbar, everybody knows that Allah is greatest than any other one. Even in the Gospels, false Gospels that we have, that Jesus said, my Father is greater than me. My Father is greater than all. That's in the Bible. So even in Christianity, they acknowledge that God is greater than anything else. But when he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, that's the Tawhid of Uluhiyyah. And that's why the Prophet said, Kharajta min al-nar, you were ousted from hell. So there is difference. The whole Quran and Sunnah show that difference, which people want to bury. They want to bury it. They want to return people to the Tawhid of Jahiliyyah, that is to acknowledge that there is a creator for all the created beings. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah strove. And that's why they are angry with Ibn Taymiyyah for this. Saying that this is innovation. Why he innovated this? Oh yeah, the innovation of Tawhid Rubiyyah, Tawhid Uluhiyyah is bad. But bringing the Aristo and Aflaton philosophic rhetoric, that's okay, that's good bid'ah. They're not happy with Ibn Taymiyyah, but they're happy with Aristotle and Aflatun and philosophy. You can see by this what is going on with the Ummah. In the surah that we always recite, Al-Fatiha, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. It is you only whom we worship, and from you only we seek help. Stupid people, they recite it in their prayer, but after that, when they go out of their prayer, Ya Madad Ya Sidi Jilani Ya Sidi, etc., etc. Oh, wait a minute, you stupid. A while ago you were saying in your prayer, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. When you get out of your prayer, you change it, and you seek help from. So seeking help from others is haram. But you may ask a question. What if, for example, your name, brother?
Abbas.
Abbas. What if I come to brother Abbas and say, Abbas, make dua for me, please, okay? We can make dua later. Yeah. Barakallahu feek. So is it haram for me to come and say to Abbas, I'm in front of him, Abbas, make dua for me? Is this wrong? Is this tawassul? Haram tawassul? The answer is no. It is Tawhid. How come? I'm asking someone other than Allah. Yes, this is someone other than Allah, but not apart from Allah's. When we say apart from Allah, that means apart from Allah's permission. This is what Allah permitted. How? If you are standing before the person, he's present, and you ask him, there's nothing wrong with that. We find in Surah Yusuf, the brothers of Yusuf, after they were caught with their sin, what did they say to their father? قالوا يا أبانا استغفر لنا ذنوبنا. They said, "Oh, our father, seek forgiveness from Allah to us for our sins that we committed. إنا كنا خاطئين. We were wrongdoers. قال سوف أستغفر لكم ربي. He said, I will be seeking forgiveness from to Allah for you. So is that shirk? No. Since Allah allowed it, they say, no. Either you take it all or you leave it all. That's not true. We asked about sujood. Is sujood to someone other than Allah allowed? What do you think?
No.
No.
It used to be allowed. Number one, Allah ordered the angels to bow down to Adam, to make sujood to Adam. Number two, the same surah of Yusuf. The brothers of Yusuf, when he sat down on the throne, they went down and made sujood to him. Do you know that? The Quran says it. وَرَفَعَ أَبَوَيْهِ عَلَى الْعَرْشِ. Yusuf raised his parents over the throne. وَخَرُّوا لَهُ سُجَّدًا. And all others, they went down. Sujjada, bowing down in sujood to Yusuf. No, that means that's a trouble. No. Sujood used to be of two types. Sujood ibadah and sujood ta'zeem wa ihtiram. And sujood of respect and glorifying, not holifying, but glorifying. Okay? That's
What was the second one?
sorry?
What was the second one?
Ihtiram, respect. The first one is respect. The one is ibadah. Okay? One is sujood ibadah, and the other one is sujood of respect. But once, I think either Mu'adh or Abu Dhar, he went to Syria. As he came back, he waited until he saw the Prophet ﷺ, and then he went down and made sujood to him. The Prophet said to him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I saw the layman people in Syria, Asham, bowing down to their respected people, kings, And I was thinking when I saw that, I said, wait a minute. If those people deserve it, the Prophet deserved it more than them. So when I go to the Prophet, I'm going to do it to him. He deserved it while they don't deserve it. So he went and he made sujood to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited him on doing that again. Which means no more sujood of respect. Alas. Okay? No more. So, dua, it has conditions. If you are asking someone who is present, why do we say if he is present? So is the matter is only that he is present? He's not present? That's why it's haram? No, that's not the only matter. The true matter is that you are making the dead equal to Allah, claiming that they are available for you at any time you call them. They can hear you at any time you call them. They know at any time you call them from any place in the world, and even if it's not their own language, they can understand. As if when they were alive, they did not have that superpower, but after they died, mashallah, now they have this superpower. None of the companions was calling the Prophet when he was alive. How much more after he died? I was challenging people, just bring me one hadith, that someone was calling the Prophet from far, while the Prophet was not close to him. In a matter of fact, if you go to Surah Al-Hujurat, have you heard of Surah Al-Hujurat? There's a surah called Hujurat. At the beginning of the surah, Allah was blaming those who stand out of the house of Rasulullah calling him, Ya Muhammad, I'm outside, come to me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those who call you shouting, yelling at you while they're outside, most of them are heedless. لا يعقلون. They have problems, they should understand. So, but why they were shouting? Because they want the Prophet to hear them, right? So that means they believed that the Prophet cannot hear if he's away from them. How come those people now, the Prophet in Medina, and he is in Pakistan, and he keeps saying, oh Messenger, oh Rasulullah, give me shafa'ah, oh Rasul, always. And they have a lot of innovations. When the Messenger is mentioned, to them they immediately, Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulullah, Ya Habibi ya Rasulullah. Poor people. You feel really pity for those people. The most important thing, if Allah intends good with you, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes you people who serve you for your matter of deen, teaching you the sources, the proper sources of Islam. This is favor from Allah unto you. Sahih. Otherwise, people are involved in innovations. And what is the worst thing in innovation regarding the hereafter? No, before that, before hellfire. What is it? I'll touch something to let you know, to remind you. Nothing? Al-Kawthar. The Prophet will be inviting his ummah to come and drink. Because drinking is a sign of salvation. That some people among his ummah, they'll be backed off. Back off! Go away. The Prophet said, those are from my ummah. It will be said to him, you don't know what they have done after you. They innovated. So all scholars, among them An-Nawawi, Ibn Hajar, all scholars, they agreed that being blocked from, or being prevented, right? Being prevented from Al-Kawthar, this is for the people of Bid'ah, who are Muslims, not Kafir. Because the way to the Kuffar is different. They're not going to pass by Kawthar. No. They're done. Khalas. But those who come to Al-Kawthar, the pool of Rasulullah, pool of water, they are Muslims. So as if the Prophet is saying to the angels, but those came here because they are my ummah. That means they are mu'mineen. They are of my ummah. It will be said to him, you don't know what they have done after you. They changed the way. And that brings us to another benefit. What is being said to the it's being said to the Prophet? You don't. It's been said to him, you don't know what they have done after you. But if you ask those people, does the Prophet know what you're doing? Yes, for sure. How come? You don't need to know. Yes, you're Wahhabi. But the angels are not Wahhabis. They're saying to the Prophet, you don't know what they have done after you. This is beneficial. I'll just come for 1 second. That reminded me to bring water. I'm thirsty. Just 1 second, please. Ya Allah. Ya Allah.
There's some good points on it.
Yeah. This is all the stuff that the Brahmins and Tirmidhi say. Yeah.
Also like a non-say, also
It's not kind of a mix and match in it. Like near my house, there's probably within walking distance about 5-6 masjids.
yeah.
And each like sects and one masjid. The biggest one is the Brahmins. Then there's a Tablighi Jamaat masjid. Then there's the hardcore Sufi masjid that make the Brahmins look normal. And there's the Hadith masjid.
Assalamu alaikum.
It's now
Ya Allah. Alright. We come now to an important topic after we